What up with y'all, man? It's the Mental Ninja. Chilling out, enjoying this beautiful, quiet night. You know what I'm saying? I love my back. I love where my spot is located because, like, really, you see that? No foot traffic. It's a little desert. You know what I'm saying? Like a street, one street. So it's quiet back here on the southwest side of things. But there's a couple things I want to talk about. You know what I'm saying? And I was up on the chat with, not all in the chat, but that Black Magic whatever dude had a little fucking live stream pop up, and it had like the grift dude that Bro Sanchez was talking about, and like a bunch of other older, like, dudes, they was like maybe like 10 years older than me, maybe a little more and shit, you know what I'm saying? Probably older than that, 50s, 60s and shit, you know? And for all intents and purposes, you know what I'm saying? It was cool, bro. Like, you know, they were doing like their little hip hop thing, you know what I'm saying? And, you know, the way I look at it is when you got like dudes like 60 years old, damn near 70, they're like, you trying to do hip hop. I mean, that's cool, because that's like, it's cool. It's all right, you know what I'm saying? The music, it wasn't bad. The beats, they weren't bad and stuff. The content, the lyrics, you know, I was kind of like, I had mixed feelings and stuff. There was some good shit, some, you know, whatever shit. But like, you know, I'm 38 years old, nigga. I'm a backpacker, motherfucking MC, 1990s era, you know what I'm saying? Video game, tag, motherfucking laser tag, Nerf, Saturday morning cartoons. So like, I understand like that the older heads, you know, they grew up in it like in the 80s when it was like a lot of civil, like cultural shit, you know, because it just came out the civil rights in the 70s, you know what I'm saying? And like all the African Bambaataa and all the fucking Public Enemy and shit. But like at the same time, like there's like a bad thing that I see about like the whole 80s, you know, transition from civil rights, you know, post civil rights and shit, is there's like a lot of hate. There's a lot of like, I mean, I understand being pro-black and like, you know, pro-education towards, you know, the black culture. But when we become like pro-black and we talking about this melanated shit and all this other stuff, bro, like, I'll tell you the truth. That's what the fucking pro-right white people say. Pure white blood, blah, 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 blah. And that's exactly what I hear. I mean, it sounds good, you know what I'm saying? Because we're trying to get a footing, you know what I'm saying, at the same time, we're trying to get a footing in the same place that the people we claim oppress us had their footing or has their footing. So we really want to, it becomes like a level of like, you know, if you can't beat them, join them type thing on like a not good thing. Because like, how are we going to, you know, how me as a black man in America going to talk about how like fucked up, you know, white folks or whatever, other races or whatever you want to call it, human race, one race, other ethnicities or whatever you want to call it, skin colors, which still don't make sense, because I know I got family that's fucking like, they're called pastors and shit. They black, but they pastor. They look like they white, but they not, you know what I'm saying? And, you know, we like talking about how bad it was, and then like we're using the same kind of language, we're using the same kind of terminology, we're using the same kind of tactics and propaganda that we said that was negatively used on us. So like, that's one thing. And then like, even about the music and shit, like if you like an old head, bro, I mean, that's cool, you doing music, but like what you really talking about, like I see like a lot of people having grown past the hate. That the hate is their foundation and shit. The blame is their foundation and stuff. And like, they really want to refuse the idea of a equal society and shit, where we can work race and color and all that stuff ain't even a factor. You know what I'm saying? Like King said, not, you know, the content of a man's character and stuff, not the way he looked, not how he dressed, not how tall or short, how fat or skinny, you know, how formed or deformed that person is like, what kind of person is it? You know what I'm saying? And granted, there are individuals that have like suffer from like, you know, we say grave emotional and mental disorders, you know what I'm saying, that they may not be held accountable for some of the decisions, the way they behave and stuff. But in the end of the day, bro, like what kind of music y'all putting out? I mean, some of it's cool, some of it's not, you know what I'm saying? And I had mixed feelings about it. Other than that, it was like a bunch of people like trying to do the right, you know, do the right thing with the best they know, you know. And I agree. I think that's cool, you know what I'm saying? But I'm like, there's always gonna, I mean, I kind of feel there's always room to grow. There's always room to educate myself, you know what I'm saying? And if I become set on an ideal, one ideal that kind of sets me against people for a reason, kind of like my last video I'm about to blow up about the fucking seller, knowledge for profit type shit, the selfish shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, if I'm not able to grow past that, then it may make it difficult for me to be able to to effectively reach people in those areas and stuff, and be able to, like, talk to them on a peaceful level and shit. I may keep a bunch of, bitterness and resentment, saying locked in my heart, and that'll transmute through the content, through my conversation and stuff. You know what I'm saying? So, like, that's one thing I want to talk about. And it's like, I'll say this, bro. The fucking blaming white fucking cops thing is dead, bro. Like, really. Because niggas ain't dying from cops. Niggas is dying from other niggas, bro. Like, we talking about cops. Oh, they shot Aubrey, or the white dude shot Aubrey and shit. But, like, don't nobody give a fuck when motherfuckers are selling crack to their own population, their own communities and shit. Motherfuckers pimping their own fucking sisters out and their own fucking communities out and shit. You know what I'm saying? When niggas are, selling guns to their own communities and shit, their own friends and family and shit, and niggas is like, exploiting the youth, so hopefully they'll fucking become drug addicts or, gangbangers, so they can have an increased steady market and shit. So, like, that's what I have to say about that shit right there, man. Like, I hear it, but I no longer feel that shit. You know what I'm saying? Because the statistics is out there. We know what happens in Chicago. We know what happens in D.C. and Baltimore and the hoods in New York. I lived out in New York and shit, in the boroughs, in the Bronx and Manhattan and the Brooklyn and Queens and shit. I lived out there, nigga. Been up and through Harlem and shit. We know about L.A. and shit and how fucked up it is. I'm in Vegas. We know about how the north side is and shit, the west side is, and all the fucking cultural beasts. But, like, I'll tell you this. We are the number one killers of our own self, bro. We can blame corporations and marketing and all this other stuff, man. But when it comes down to it, and Nino Brown's talking about ain't no Uzis made in Harlem, you know what I'm saying? We the ones with the Uzis in Harlem, though. You know what I'm saying? Who we using on? Ourselves. So, like, until, like, we start focusing, like, on, like, you know what? Let's make it cool not to do this shit. Like, let's really do this shit. Instead of, like, still capitalizing on, the old fucking murder, mayhem, pimp, wholesale crack shit to our own people. And our own children think that that's cool because they see us listening to it and they gonna feel like, man, this is what we do. You know what I'm saying? So the cultural stigma no longer becomes a stigma. It becomes a way of life. You know what I'm saying? And it's a way of life that we are indoctrinating our own selves into. You know what I'm saying? And, like, and to fall back on, like, and the blame, the blame thing is like, oh, it's because of this, it's because of the white folks, because of the cops, it's because of gentrification, because of all this other stuff. It's like, bro, but still, we still here. You know what I'm saying? We still in these neighborhoods and stuff, and there's so much access, so much information, and there's so many things to do in a day, which consists of 1,446 minutes. You know what I'm saying? What's the excuse? I'm like, well, I decided not to educate myself. I decided to look on Arrival to ride on, or, I'm trying to catch this paper. I'm trying to catch these fades. I'm trying to, like, so I'm trying to stack up and shit. I'm trying to get this and that and the other thing, and it's like, when the niggas drug dealers, when we riding around in fucking fancy ass car and wearing nice ass jewelry and shit and nice ass clothes and shit, like, nigga, like, that shit, the shit we wearing come from other people's sweat and labor and shit, and other people's pain and suffering and shit. You know what I'm saying? So we walking around with straight pain and suffering on. We walking around. It's funny. This is how it works, right? Back in the day, they had us chained up as slaves, right? Now we using other people as our chains. We dressing up nice with these other people's bodies and shit, with their fucking souls and their spirit and their suffering and shit and their torment and their tragedy and shit and their misery and shit. And we're making that shit into a fucking market where we can get paid. You know what I'm saying? Like, we hope. It's almost like niggas don't want Dare to work. Niggas don't want niggas to go to fucking jail and reform and come back and start living a better life and shit. You know why? Because then they'll come back and they'll educate the youth and shit. And that what happens with that is, like, the youth ain't gonna want to be having the need to join gangs and stuff. Motherfuckers want broken homes and shit because they need it. They need a fucking market. They need a pool to fucking collect from. You know what I'm saying? They need. It's crazy, bro. So, like, that should be sounding cool. We trying to blame this and make all this, this pro-black power shit, you know what I'm saying? But, like, I'm looking at it, nigga, we don't got no fucking black power. We don't. All we got is hatred towards the white man, blame towards everybody else, and we sit there in this fucking pile of shit of blame and hatred and shit, and we destroy our own selves and stuff. And then like the niggas that educate themselves, they get out and they become part of the rat race. And you got the preachers and the pastors and the churches. Nigga, what the churches doing? Build a playground, feed the homeless and shit. But you know what they doing really? They ain't concerned with fucking, they ain't, the inner city churches, they're not concerned as a whole, as an entity with fucking helping people. They're more concerned in pitching a narrative, you know what I'm saying, that reinforce the idea of a hellish hellfire and judgment and shit as if things already fucked up. You know what I'm saying? To get people to come to their motherfucking trap house for fucking their fix. Like if I come there and hear the message, I'll be good. Motherfucking preachers driving around in fucking Bentleys and fucking, and you know what's funny? It's a social schema, right? If you black, if you see a nigga, a motherfucking Chrysler 300, you already know who in it. It's gonna be a social worker chick. It's gonna be one of the chicks from the choir. It's gonna be a pastor. It's gonna be some real estate nigga and shit. You know what I'm saying? And shit gonna be, you know what I'm saying? It's like we market. We fucking have been picked, targeted, and marketed, and we have been fucking cloned and groomed. We conditioned, and our conditioning's been conditioned to operate in such a manner that really we're just cattle. That's it. We're cattle. We're the main consumer of the cattle. Shit is crazy, bro. We're the main supplier and we're the main demander of the cattle, and we are the cattle. Do you see how fucking crazy that shit is? You know what I'm saying? And like, at true black power, you have to get rid of the black part of it. You have to get rid of the power part of it and look towards true equality, true fellowship, true brotherhood. You know what I'm saying? We one people, we one race. You know, all this fucking alien DNA and fucking, you know, all that fucking dumbass shit. And you gonna look to a microscope to justify that you don't want to fucking be a caring person or or put your prejudice aside. You look into a microscope to fucking as a basis. The fuck? Like I mean, it's like, and you here, check this out. This is how I'm gonna put it. Niggas is looking so hard for a reason. They looking at cells and shit. They looking at atoms. They fucking really, it's like a nigga trolling a motherfucking Facebook profile looking for something they can hate on some didact shit. You know what I'm saying? And like, that shit ain't balling to me. That shit ain't uplifting to me. That shit ain't fucking black power to me, bro. That's just fucking power. And absolute power corrupts absolutely. And we absolutely think that we in our right position for having these thoughts and shit. And we teaching our kids this stuff. Furthermore, we keeping the narrative and the scenario and the environment the same. You know why? Because we live off the dead religions and the dead beliefs of our fathers, of our grandfathers. Like, they went through that shit, man. They did as much, they got the people that did as much they could to change. They suffered and toiled and all that stuff, going back how long. But it's like, when we talk about ancestors and stuff, like, what the fuck does that have to do with any fucking thing right fucking now? Like, ask yourself that. Oh, the ancestors, like, bro, they ain't here. You are. You are the ancestor, and what you gonna do? Talk about the ancestors while you an ancestor right now in the making? Man, there's so much opportunity, bro. So much opportunity and stuff. There's so much stuff to research and learn. You know what I'm saying? So you can better educate yourself. And you know what the thing is? Chiseling away at that fucking stone heart that we got. Chiseling away at that freaking stone head, that hard head we got. You know what I'm saying? Chiseling away at the fucking all that shit in front of our eyes that causes us to be angry and stuff. You know, because this is what it is. It ain't what happened that we're mad about. It's the fact that we keep thinking about it that we're mad about it. Like, that shit, slavery is over. We free. Niggas in prison, you free. You free to make a right decision. And of course, there's going to be situations where other people are doing some fucked up stuff to try to impede that. But in the end of the day, you can suffer and still be free. You can be free and still suffer. You can be free and still be in prison. You can be in prison and still be free. It's your mindset. Has nothing to do with change. How do you think those slaves made it so long? They found a piece of freedom, bro. You know what that piece of freedom was? Me, you, our children, the Wu-Tang Clan, Michael Jordan, all our favorite things. You know what I'm saying? The love that a friend has for another friend. They ain't seen him in 10 years or something. The high school diploma, the graduate, the discoverer of a new technology, or the inventor of a new business. That's why they were free when they were in slavery because there was something bigger than them that they were working towards. They may not even known it, but their hearts did. You know what I'm saying? What we doing is we taking that suffering, we taking that pain, and we capitalize off that shit, bro. Shame on us. Shame on us, because we capitalize. I know I do that stuff all the time. All the time, bro. I'm just speaking my thoughts freely. And if you feel like, man, you know what, Ninja? I hate to say it, but yeah, I agree. Then that's a start. And then, you know what? I'd be amazed at what you come up with. I'd be amazed at what altruistic, you know what I'm saying, searches that you engage in. And you're like, man, you know what? I started looking at these other books. And I started finding some worthy material for building and stuff, man. Look at my temple, my temple complex, and look at all the resources and stuff, and like my little stockpile, man. Look at all that beautiful material, man. I'm about to put all that shit to use. But right now, I'm taking down a lot of this old material, bro. These old shingles and old window sills and stuff. You know what I'm saying? These old doorknobs and these rusted nails and rusted screws from fucking 100, 200, 300, 400, 500, 800,000, whatever. That's just old. We have the opportunity right now to construct a new reality. But it's not going to come like some kind of social reform. It doesn't work that way. It comes through here, man. And it don't work that way either, because without this right here, to power this, it ain't going to happen. You change yourself, you change the world straight up. The world is a different place after you change it, after you change yourself, because you're perceiving it differently. You're operating differently. You know what I'm saying? And then like one day we can drop the word blame from our lips. And for me, and I'll tell you this, man, whether you alcoholic or not, man, that 12-step shit, bro. Look, and this I'm going to say this. I feel a lot of times, more times than not, that the 12 steps is the most superior fucking shit on the planet Earth. Fuck the Bible. Straight up. Fuck all the holy books. You know what I'm saying? That 12-step process, bro, that shit gets to matters of the heart. It goes to the core, bro. I think that's why, you know, Alcoholics Anonymous has done so well. But this thing is like, we kind of only pitch like this for alcoholics. And that kind of seems like almost like a pro-right wing, fucking it's us versus them. No, you're not included. Where's your handshake? Where's the sign that, you know what I'm saying, the grip and all that stuff, you know? Where's your lapel, your pendant and stuff, your regalia? You know what I'm saying? Or have you confessed the name of Bill Wilson? All that shit kind of like makes it difficult for a person, an individual who may not be an alcoholic, because I'm going to say this. In AA, right, there's only alcohol mentioned one time in the whole 12 steps. The first step. We admitted we were powerless over alcohol and our lives become unmanageable. And I'm just going to break this down. I think I've already done it before. I'm going to break this down for you. And maybe you're like, well, you know what? This shit sounds like something I might need to check out. You know what I'm saying? Where you can get the book and read it in the 12 and 12 and everything else. And you ain't got to be like, oh, what's my homeboy seen with this? Are you an alcoholic? It's like, nah, man, I'm trying to find out what they got fucking in this shit. This might be a key to something. I don't even know what the fuck I'm trying to unlock. You know what I'm saying? So like, step one. My bad, y'all. Step one, we realized we admitted we were powerless over alcohol and our lives become unmanageable. So check this out. We admitted honesty. So no man likes to admit defeat in our history, in our fucking nation, in our culture, especially if you black. Especially if you got your shit together and stuff, you know what I'm saying? But you just angry. You always blaming. If you blame a lot of stuff and you don't even think it's blame, that's what happened and I have a right. If you say I have a right, that's fucking blame, bro. You got a resentment. Straight up. Straight up. You know what I'm saying? Because you have to justify this shit. We admitted that we were powerless over alcohol. Now we can exchange powerless for over alcohol. Once it enters my body, it's like, I'm fucking done, bro. I'm gonna keep drinking this shit, you know, until I spend all my money and shit. I'm gonna go commit crimes and shit. And the next thing I'm homeless or in jail, right? I'm powerless over the past. Just try that one. I'm powerless over my current situation. I'm powerless over the way people think about me. I'm powerless over my baby mama, or for the women. I'm powerless over my baby father. For the parents, I'm powerless over the decisions my child makes, or for the children. I'm powerless over the decisions my parents make, right? This is all inclusive. You can ad-lib any word, any idea, any context, any concept over alcohol. We admitted we were powerless over a situation, a happening, and that our lives become unmanageable. Now, you might be thinking like, bro, I got a fucking nice ass car. I'm married, got a beautiful house, a beautiful family. I've been 20 years on a job and shit. But in the end of the day, bro, if you're using like, oh, well, it's my right to, and to protect a belief, That's a resentment. And you blaming the reason for having that right. That's why you have the right, right? So our lives become unmanageable is just saying that due to the powerlessness of whatever situation it may be, ancient, new, tomorrow, whatever, something happened when you were a kid, it makes it difficult for you. What happens is, let's say you have a resentment about something that happened when you were a kid that you could not control, and you were a definite victim. But it's like, and it's affected your whole life and shit. That's unmanageability. You can't manage your daily thought process, your emotional state. When you think about this shit, you become unbalanced. You become kind of like, magnetized to a certain mindset, and it will affect the way you behave and the way you operate with other people, the way you communicate with other people, especially if it even involves the individual that did whatever, or the idea of that individual, or a similar individual, or a group of individuals, right? So now your life is being managed by this idea that happened a long time ago. I'm not saying it happened a long time ago like it ain't shit. It is shit because it's in your head. You know what I'm saying? So that's where the unmanageability comes in, because you're trying to manage, you're trying to balance something that really can't be balanced because you're holding on to something. You know what I'm saying? So yourself holding it on is the unbalancing of it, not the situation itself, not whatever happened. And I'm gonna tell you this right now: if it happened yesterday, if it happened 10 minutes ago, and you still thinking about it, if you got beat, jumped and shit back in high school and shit, and you keep thinking about that shit and piss you off, what you would have done, what you should have done, if you see them niggas, wish you had and you ain't getting jumped right now back in high school, you the one thinking about it. So who's torturing who? Them niggas could be dead. Who knows where the fuck they are? You torturing yourself. If it's a loss of a family member, some tragedy, you're torturing yourself. Free yourself from yourself. That's the only way you're going to get free. It takes an act of God. You know what I'm saying? You have to tap in that divinity that you are the fucking holder of the key, and you were the fucking one standing in front of the lock guarding that door. And guess who's trapped inside that motherfucking door? You as well. You're the judge, the jury, the prosecution, the defender, the defendant, and you're the motherfucking executioner, bro. Straight up. And that's right. I do feel like just step one, bro. I even gonna go to step 2 and 3. You know what I'm saying? Step 1 is a superior idea, bro. It's universal, man. That should work for NA, GA, BA, SA, CA, CMA, all OA, all that shit. But it doesn't have to be one of the anonymous groups. It can work for any person, because we're Alcoholics Anonymous is made up of people that come from everywhere. Everywhere. You know what I'm saying? All different necks of the woods, all different races, nationalities, cultures, and creeds and stuff, all different shapes and sizes, all different mind capacities and shit, you know what I'm saying? So that's why I wanted to say that, man. Like, maybe you might be like, and I'll tell you this, look at it like this, man. If you're looking for the light and truth, that's a big truth book, bro. A fucking big truth book. You know what I'm saying? And if you can read it, or when you read it, if you decide to, when they talk about alcohol, put a different situation. When they talk about somebody else, read it as if it's talking about yourself. When they say someone else's name, put your name in there. They say alcohol, change it up to something that's a situation that you have difficulty with. You know what I'm saying? Like forgiving yourself. And there's like a situation where you want to forgive somebody else. And that 12-step process, bro, you get with somebody who knows him, like, hey, man, you can go hit a meeting, like, hey, I ain't no alcoholic, but can you take me through the steps? I guarantee you'll find somebody like, fucking what? Hell yeah. Let's get in this shit, you know what I'm saying? And you and that individual will learn something beautiful. You know what I'm saying? But what else I want to talk about? Oh, yeah. So I seen on the news that the CDC is saying that, thank God, man, the coronavirus doesn't transmit that well, or is not that communicable through soft surfaces and shit, which is like fucking, I didn't believe this shit any motherfucking way. Straight up. I was looking on YouTube 2 months ago, and they were like fucking, you can go Google that shit on YouTube, whatever, coronavirus and surfaces. You're gonna see fucking probably like 50 or 60 fucking news fucking videos from the CDC and Fox News and CNN and local news and shit. Read just the narrative, blah, 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 just like fucking like a machine gun, rapid fire with infinite bullets and shit. And what that did was increase fucking fear. It increased the awareness, the possible awareness of this invisible enemy and shit, and the possibility that nigga like, look, really, see all this shit, bro? Everything could be coronavirus. See all that shit out there? That shit could be all coronavirus. Every fucking corner, every fucking, step on the floor. If I touch the floor, it could be coronavirus everywhere. And that's some fucking heavy ass shit, man. So people be fucking freaked out, frightened. They don't want to touch nobody. They don't want to touch nothing and shit. And that, like, oh, they're so scared. Like, yeah, shut it down because we got to fucking clean the streets. We got to sanitize the whole fucking planet. Like, every tree, every fucking brick, every light bulb has to be sanitized and shit. Somebody getting the gloves. We need enough gloves to sanitize a whole fucking block. Every fucking under the house, every basement, every fucking, Black Widow's nest, sanitize everything, right? But now, the coronavirus isn't as transmittable as they thought before. And if you can look back at the original 2 months ago, right? And listen to the words they say. It suggested that blah, 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 blah. Studies suggest. You know what I'm saying? Well, it's not like a fundamental fact and shit, but we don't hear suggest. We just hear studies show, and we see TV news reporters with fucking scientists and doctors saying just when they say more things than suggest, and it's all recentered around beware, 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 be afraid, be afraid, be afraid. But now they're telling us that, it's not that bad. So what's happening now is like they're slowly, removing the boot from our neck, but it's not even their boot that's on our neck, it's our own fucking boot, nigga. Like we got our hand in the fucking boot and we're holding our own neck down like this, nigga, looking all crazy and shit. So I watch the narrative, I see like, and honestly, I observe it as like it's a science experiment. I really do. Like it's some kind of survey. Like when you go to you get paid $50 to be part of a case study. That's exactly what I look at this whole thing as. You know what I'm saying? And I'm watching the reaction of the people and shit. You know what I'm saying? And I'm gonna tell you this: it is pretty predictable. The people are very predictable. I already know what's gonna happen because I can see the train of thought. I can see when certain information is introduced into the media outlets and stuff that the people are engaging in. Then they'll fucking be moved, freed or feared by, whatever they see. And even now, like since stores are opening back up, I hear people like, big gathering. My neighbors, couple apartments down, had like 7, 8 people on their fucking balcony. And like, they would be afraid to do it. And the only reason to do it now because the government said, the media said it's okay. And like, that's their God now. You know what I'm saying? Social media is the church. You know what I'm saying? And like, really, I'm cool with it all, but at the same time, I'm learning so fucking much information, man, because, I'm a human, I watch humans, and I've learned a great deal about myself, and I understand how they work, too, because I'm one of them, you know what I'm saying? So when in Rome, dress as the Romans and shit, you know what I'm saying? You have to know what a Roman dressed like. You have to be amongst the Romans to dress like them and walk like them and talk like them, you know what I'm saying? And know what kind of foods they like and shit, what kind of foods they have. And you can participate in that shit, but still being silently, secretly aware of your own existence, aware of your own individual consciousness. However, on the flip side of that is that you're not an individual consciousness because you're observing and you're understanding their consciousness. So there's a connection. There's a connection. That connection isn't like I'm learning about other people. It's like this: I'm learning about my other self. Akhenaten told the people in Egypt, he said, this is, what's her fucking name? I don't even like when I do this shit. I love Egyptian history. Akhenaten's wife, I forget, not Cleopatra, Nefertiti. He said, Akhenaten was like, this is Nefertiti, my other self. Serious shit. That's a serious ass implication. Whether your brothers don't fucking matter, twins don't fucking matter. It's just like the idea of separation from self and non-self and union with self and other as self. You know what I'm saying? The expanding of the consciousness to the greater consciousness and realizing that everybody has a consciousness just like me, and that maybe my consciousness and their consciousness aren't different. What if we put all of our consciousness in a box and shook them up and passed them back out? What would it even look like? What would they be handing us? You know what I'm saying? That's the idea. If you don't have an idea of what it could look like, because it looks like nothing, because everybody got it. You know what I'm saying? It's only when it's individualizing me and I see my face and I see another face, I'm like, well, he's over there, I'm over here. We must be different. But we're all breathing the same air. And it's funny because you can't see the consciousness, you can't see the subconsciousness, you can't see the collective consciousness, you can't fucking see the air either. But when it's cold, you can see the effects of it. Check that out. You can see the effects of the consciousness, the subconscious, and the collective conscious in the observation of your natural environment, which naturally is you, expanded on an infinitude scale. You know what I'm saying? So I want to be like, for those who have eyes, can see. For those who have ears, listen. You know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna be on that shit, bro. Like, if you're able to understand the things I'm like asking you, please consider. You know what I'm saying? It's not for my health or my benefit. You know what I'm saying? Really, and maybe that may not be for yours. It may be for ours. You know what I'm saying? And like, I know that talking about coronavirus and like an experiment or a social study and shit, you know what I'm saying, a planetary social study, it's kind of like, how would that be possible? Wow, well, like, nigga, how wouldn't it be possible? You know what I'm saying? And like, the idea of like the blame shit with the fucking blacks and whites and Mexicans and Jews and all this stuff, and the Masons and the elite and all this shit, bro, like, really, my nigga, like, that shit is cool, but like, we still have air and opportunity to change the way we think. I can't change how another man thinks. I can give suggestions. I can operate in a way for myself, and if other people see and operate for themselves, not in the same way, but in their own way, that may achieve similar results and stuff, or being some kind of, you know, I don't know, reflective nature, you know what I'm saying? But each reflection is an individual reflection of its own, you know what I'm saying? Then like, that's good. But like, I'm not here to convince, to connive, to conjure, to conform anybody to my beliefs and shit. I'm simply here to share that shit. You know, like I said in my last video, I got the fucking gold mine, and I'm not the only one who got the gold mine. You know, and maybe one day when you when you realize the idea of the gold mine and what it really means, you'll look around and be like, holy shit, this whole place is a gold mine. Eureka. You know what I'm saying? But life is beautiful. Regardless of all the bad things that we perceive, life is amazing, man. And, you know, for love of philosophy, that's what the PhD, you don't need to go to school for that. All you gotta do is fall in love with philosophy and educate and learn and experience and observe and question everything that you learn. And look and ask yourself, you know, what did I do wrong? Who do I owe amends to? Like, what can I do better? When we ask ourselves, what can I, the mental ninja, do better? I've already just implied doubt that I'm doing things the right way. And if I don't want to be sold on the absolute, like I'll never fucking have to, you know, I'll never have to stretch again. I can just play ball. I'll never have to work out again. I just fucking do like 10 push-ups and I'll be fucking swole forever. Nah, like, the reason you keep working out is because it's work. It has to be maintained. It has to be cultured and cultivated. It has to be, you know, practiced. You know what I'm saying? And like, knowledge and wisdom, understanding and learning all has to be practiced. And the one fundamental part of that practice is doubt. And that doubt is like, should I keep going? Well, fuck, let's find out. Let's just find out. Let's just hit the path and let's find out and stuff. You know what I'm saying? And be willing. And even if you don't know in some areas where you're not willing, if you're willing to find out, it'll reveal itself to you. And you'll learn how to fucking handle the situation. And you'll be like master of your own fucking soul. You'll be master of your own fucking world. You'll be master of the world. You'll be a master of the universe and the planets and their operations and their energies. You'll be a master of all that shit. All the energies of the world, the infinitude. But it, you know, really, it is a journey. You know what I'm saying? And it's the journey to that understanding and shit. If you trying to get riches and shit, you're going to get riches if that's what you really want. But it's like it's a tax bracket for that. You know what I'm saying? But if you're rich and within already, all that other shit is extra. It's just like reflection of that inner richness and stuff, the inner enlightenment and stuff, you know. And you can have and not have and still be cool. That's the goal. You know what I'm saying? And still be cool no matter what. And that's and with that said, let's say you become super wealthy and shit. It wouldn't even make no difference if you were broke, because like, you are who you are and you understand who you are and what it means by that. And, you know, maybe it's be able to reach more people and help more people, but it doesn't matter, because you help one, you help 1,000. Matter of fact, you help one, you help the entire humanity, past, present, and future, because we all one, we all connected. You know, everybody breathing the same air, everybody bleed blood and shit. Everybody born, everybody die. And if you ain't born, You ain't a body. You ain't nobody. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying you can't be. In the end, life is beautiful. Like, the things I've found, the things I've learned, and the things I'll continue to learn, life is fucking perfect. Even the bad days. Before I go to bed, I thank God for the bad days. I thank God for the good days. I thank God for my family, for my sobriety, for the recovery, and for my sponsors and my sponsees. And I thank God for the OTO and the brethren in the OTO that I've met. I thank God for all the brothers and sisters I met in like Bro Sanchez online and Facebook. I even pray, I even thank God for the people I don't like and shit. You know what I'm saying? And like, hey man, teach me how to like, teach me how to love from the heart and not from the flesh. Teach me how to love from the heart and not from the mind. Matter of fact, teach me how to love from the soul and not from the heart, because it's just a body. It's just an organ. And the organs in your body, they don't play the music of the soul, bro. That's what an organ does. So it plays music, a piano organ. You know what I'm saying? Like in the Bible, talking about the heavenly angels say constantly, mighty, mighty is Lord God Almighty. And it's like, that's life around us, man. You hear them birds? They singing that shit, the energy of the planets and shit, and the crop circles, all that as above, so below, and the buzzing of fucking electricity. Yeah, that's it. The sound that comes out of your mouth when you speak, that's it too. Vibration, frequency, whatever you want to you can drum up whatever. You know what I'm saying? Get in touch with that and realize that your whole life, the whole place is a symphony, a beautiful symphony and shit. And you the conductor and playing every fucking note at every fucking part, of every fucking scale, on every fucking octave. You know what I'm saying? Playing every instrument all together. And you didn't even know it was all you, because you just picked a spot. You picked the saxophone for a little bit, You can hear the saxophone. I now can see the conductor sound, the conductor. Now I see the baton sound, the baton. Or now I see the person's turning the page, the notes, the music book. And now I'm the page, now I'm the music book. Oh, I see the tuba, now I'm the tuba. Whatever you focus on, that's what you are. Otherwise, how would you be able to see it? How would you be able to perceive it if it wasn't already able or made to be perceived? Think about these kind of concepts, man. And realize you're a lot bigger than you thought you were, man. And like, that may help you, like, when you come across people that you're like, you know what? This is an aspect of myself I ain't met yet. I can't stand this motherfucker, you. You know what I'm saying? You could be cool with this shit. Like, you know what? I got to learn a new part of myself through somebody else. Anyway, like I said, life is beautiful. It's kind of getting late. I'm going to hurry and end this video because I'm getting long. And, yeah, man, it's the Mental Ninja. Welcome to the dojo. Shout out to Bro Sanchez and King of Higher Self and Light Spirit Body, Eddie Machete, Lady Leg 75, Kurt Washington Jr., Kiki Williams, Sir Drop, Greedy Vegan, to Drez, Question Everything. Shout out to all the mods. Shout out to Bro Didek. Shout out to everybody, you know what I'm saying? Marty Lees, Killer Priest, My Real Tech Computer Services. Shout out to everybody, man. Shout out to the birds in the air and all that fucking crazy shit, man. But today's been a good day. Everything's beautiful. Even if it doesn't seem like that. That's the other side of beautiful. But you can't have one side or the other side. So you're close to the beauty. And all you gotta do is like, you know what? Where is it? And you there. If you're looking for it. That's all I got, man. Mental Ninja, welcome to the dojo, and I'm out.